Well, hi class, welcome to the final unit of 1 Corinthians. You've made it to the very end. And this unit, since we've tracked through the entire letter, I thought we would spend some time working on the research paper. The research paper is formally and technically due on December the 12th. However, I do have a little bit of cushion. If you need a few more days, just let me know, and I'm sure that I can provide that. Well, you'll see in the course page for this unit, there are 3 items that I'd like you to read. The first and most important is a document that I actually created this semester, pulling together all of the best tips that I know of through years of writing research papers on how to do it well and how to do it the most efficiently. The second is simply a sample sentence outline, which you'll be working on this week. And the third document is something that you'll definitely want to keep for your file, and that's a PDF copy of the SBL Handbook of Style. That document governs the way that we cite sources, the way that we construct bibliographies, the way that we abbreviate and cite Bible passages, etc. So it's really invaluable as you continue your development as a writer in biblical studies. Well, at your leisure, take a look at that document, A Guide to Successful Research Papers. I want to highlight just 4 parts of that document. Most of those steps are self-explanatory, but I do want to offer a little bit more commentary on some key parts. The first is the research sources. Please make sure that you pay attention to the guidelines for proper sources. Sources that are post-1970, sources that stay away from whole Bible commentaries. The ATLA database, which you have access to through Lee's library, is an invaluable resource for online for coming up with very, very good biblical studies research. So make sure to follow those guidelines. I also want to highlight the segment of the document in which I walk through categorizing your research. I hope that you have a system for doing this. If not, I've provided my system for you, in which I simply take each source and put in a Word document how I think I can use that source or quotes from that source in my paper. The way that you assimilate research is really the most important part of the writing process, and if you do it well, you'll find that actually writing the paper is easier than compiling the research. So pay attention to that section. Also, I introduce in the paper an hourglass approach to writing a research paper on biblical studies. What I mean is that you want to start your paper with thinking about your theme broadly in 1 Corinthians. So, for example, if you're writing on the incestuous man of 1 Corinthians 5, you might start with a segment on holiness or immorality in 1 Corinthians and just show some key segments that prove how this is a major theme throughout the letter, then weed it down to deal with your passage, 1 Corinthians 5, and then once again go outward and show how what you found in your research on your passage in 1 Corinthians 5 contributes to the letter of 1 Corinthians overall, its theology, its themes, and its emphases. And fourth, please pay attention to the common grammatical mistakes that I find in papers that people wind up losing points for. This is a formal research paper, and I do expect your grammar, syntax, vocabulary, spelling to be correct. To that end, I want to encourage you to read the segment in the SBL Handbook on Style about properly formatting your footnotes. Once you learn how to do it right, which just takes a few minutes, get in the habit of doing that, you'll do it right for the rest of your career at PTS and beyond. Well, the actual assignment this week is to construct and post sentence outlines onto the discussion forum. I have provided a sample template that I found online. Now, I realize that it's not Thanksgiving yet, and many of you may have not even begun research on your research paper. That's fine. I do want you to isolate what you're going to write on. If we need to have a conversation about that, just set it up with me. But choose a passage or choose a theme, and go ahead and give it your best shot at constructing a 3-point sentence outline with subpoints, just to get you thinking in terms of what you might like to prove or say about that passage. This will also give the class and myself an opportunity to offer our feedback and comments that may help you as you continue along the pathway of writing the paper. Those are due on Saturday night into the Dropbox and the discussion forum, which will give us 2 days to comment. Let's finish strong this week. Please let me know if you have questions or concerns. I look forward to reading your sentence outlines. God bless.